Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on this Friday night. I'm Jay Kohn. Janelle is off this evening. Montana Fair winding down for another year. 2018 brought its ups and downs for the fair. One of the high points, though, was the temperature. Literally, this week, in fact, featured above average temperatures nearly every day. Those high temperatures, especially the triple-digit days we saw last weekend to open the fair, definitely had an impact on sales at the fairgrounds. Now, with more on that, let's check in with Q2's Connor Pregetzer, who's joining us live at Metro Park tonight. Connor, good evening.
Well, thank you, Jay. I am down here at Metro Park. Still a very warm day out here. Now, last weekend, we did kick off the fair with warnings about the upcoming extreme temperatures, and Mother Nature did not disappoint us, leading us with triple digits a couple times last weekend. Now, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday represent the three hottest days we have seen during the fair in the last 5 years. And Saturday was the first 100-degree day Billings has experienced in the month of August since 2011. Over the course of the fair this year, average temperatures have been almost 4 degrees higher than the average daytime high temperature from the last 5 years. Now we're out here at the fair, and we are joined right now by Metro Park spokesman Ray Massey. Now, Ray, we understand that those hot temperatures last weekend had an impact on some of the fair sales.
Had some impact on fair sales, but with the great weather on Monday and Tuesday, those were record nights. As we continued on with the fair, we have continued to narrow that gap that started because of those hot temperatures that you predicted. And so we've come up a little bit better. We're looking in really good shape. We're looking for a great rodeo tonight and tomorrow night, and to finish the fair strong.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that, Ray. We do have a very nice night out here tonight. If you want to come out and enjoy one of the last couple nights of the fair, today is looking very good. Tomorrow things turn a little bit wetter, and we drag Bob out here tonight too. He's going to give you your full forecast from right here at Metro Park coming up a little bit later in the show.
All right, thank you so much, Connor. We'll be back to Montana Fair, as you mentioned, with Bob's weather forecast in a moment. Well, the fires up in Glacier Park have regional tourism promoters scrambling to explain that only a select portion of the park is closed because of the fire. As MTN's Dennis Bragg reports tonight, they're not only offering reassurances, but asking residents to help spread the word.
Racine Friddy of Glacier Country Tourism says the dramatic pictures of Sunday night's blow-up have spread across the internet, leading some visitors to believe the entire park is ablaze.
Our social feeds are full of very dramatic fire images right now, and while they're beautiful, they do cause a little bit of alarm. And while we don't want to take away from what is happening, fire is part of our story and is a natural part of our ecology, it also can create some fear and trepidation with people who are coming here for their vacation and that they've been planning either for years or for months. So.
The problem is created whenever going to the Sun Road is closed. In fact, this scenario is familiar. Last summer, at the same time, the Big Sprague fire and other lightning-caused fires closed an even larger area. Friddy wants tourists to know the vast majority of the park is open, including all the scenic spots east of the divide.
Some people think that when the going to the Sun Road is closed in any way, the entire road is closed, and that's just not the case. Logan Pass to St. Mary is fully open along with the entire east side of Glacier National Park. So people really want to be able to go and visit that, and it's there for them.
Glacier Country Tourism and other agencies are working to get that word out. But Friddy says Montana residents can help by sharing accurate news updates and talking with their visiting friends and relatives.
They absolutely can. For one thing, you can either contact the National Park, and on their webpage is a hotline as well as a current conditions section that talks about trail closures and openings. You can also contact your local visit information center, your Chamber of Commerce, Glacier Country, or the State Tourism Office, and we'd be happy to assist them as well. But just being able to remember that not all the park is closed, you can still go and experience it. So just remember that and be willing to kind of be flexible and change your plans a little bit.
In Missoula, Dennis Bragg, MTN News.
All right, thank you, Dennis. Now, the Howe Ridge fire does continue to impact Glacier Park operations. In fact, just this afternoon, it was announced that the Lake McDonald Lodge is now closed for the remainder of the season due to that nearby fire. But last year, in spite of the fire-related closures that lasted well into September, the park still set new records for the number of park visitors. Montana's unemployment rate is now down to 3.7%. The lowest numbers are in Gallatin County, where the unemployment rate is just 2%. By comparison, on the west side of the state in Missoula County, the unemployment rate's at 2.9%. And here locally in Yellowstone County, the jobless rate is at 3.3%, but nearby Bighorn County has the state's worst unemployment, now at 8.9%. That's well above the national unemployment rate of 3.9%. Today, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce endorsed Republican Senate candidate Matt Rosendale. That announcement unveiled here locally at Montana Peterbilt, where owner Kevin Justanis focused on his business's recent success.
About 18 months ago, Montana Peterbilt employed about 83 people in 3 locations here in Billings, Missoula, and Columbia Falls. If you fast forward 18 months to today, we're at 90 employees, and I currently have 14 more job openings. We're forecasting a 10 to 15% increase growth-wise in our business, and if you want a new Peterbilt today, you're lucky to get it in 8 months. And so things are good.
Freight is what goes around this country, and Peterbilt is what's moving it. You know, we've had a tremendous opportunity here, and we have seen it, to work with the Chamber of Commerce and with our president to make sure that we continue this pro-growth agenda that we see taking place across this great nation of ours.
Democrat John Tester's campaign quick to react to the U.S. Chamber endorsement of Rosendale today. They point out that the Montana Chamber has chosen not to endorse anyone in this Senate race, nor did the GOP-leaning group endorse Rosendale back in 2016 when he was elected state auditor. During this current 2018 election cycle, the U.S. Chamber has spent nearly $7.5 million on independent expenditures. $6 million of that has gone to help Republican candidates. Well, after 2 years of work and hundreds of hours, a World War II glider has made its way to its new permanent perch at the Ben Steele Middle School in Billings. This project was spearheaded by science teacher Patrick Kenny, who was looking for a way to give back. And from there, 27 students took on the effort, building and painting the aircraft replica that honors the late Ben Steele, a World War II hero, the man who survived the Bataan Death March. Now, the Steele family was on hand today as the glider was put in place, overlooking the school's cafeteria.
When they first said that they were dedicating this to him, I had no idea what it really meant. And then we started going up to the airport and watching it being built, and watching these kids put in hours and hours, 1,200 hours, and it's pretty amazing.
We started this in 2016 as a tribute to Ben Steele and all the Army Air Corps veterans who fought during World War II. And really, on behalf of the students and I, it's been a real honor and privilege to do this on behalf of the Steele family and all those Army Air Corps veterans.
Now, family member Julie told us today that going back to the school is even more emotional for her now than it was at the school's ribbon cutting, and that's because she says it just keeps getting better and better. Still to come on tonight's 5:30 News, we're going to take you back to Montana Fair and check out the musical side of things. And then in sports, coming up later tonight, Scott will catch up with Billings native Leslie Spalding, the women's golf coach at San Diego State, after a long career on the LPGA Tour.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Kohn and Janelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.